Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Foul Parody podcast, where we are running Pathfinder's first edition, Hell's Vengeance, did you know, for October to get our Halloween on. Question, do you guys have a Halloween tradition? Something you do every year, a scary board game, a movie, something that you do every year, Aiden?
Yeah, I'll actually usually hop on and play Killing Floor or Killing Floor 2 on the PC, and just kind of chill in Discord with some of my buddies. That's about it.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's cool. Not what I expected, but cool.
I mean, it's a zombie survival shooter game where you just, survive.
Okay,
waves of
so kind of like a
zombies,
Left 4 Dead thing with less story and more shoot.
Is that that game that Markiplier was playing briefly? Like you get to kill lots of zombies?
I don't watch Markiplier. I mean, no offense to him. I think his content's fine.
Fair enough.
But, no clue. It's a fun game. Check it out. Good with more than one person, but still enjoyable.
Sweet.
So.
And what about you, Jay? Do you have a traditional Halloween something that, cannot be ignored?
Well, the closest to that would be every year we invite as many people over as we can and watch the scariest movie we can.
Oh, classic.
That's about it.
Night of Horror.
Mm-hmm.
We usually watch the Harry Potter movies. It gets into them from October into November every year. Playing this replaced years ago before I started podcasting, where I got the Ravenloft itch. Start trying to talk everyone to playing Ravenloft as quickly as possible, as much as possible. Not the 5th edition one, because I'm not familiar with 5th edition, but the old one, the 1st edition one, or maybe even the 3.5 revision one, had been a tradition for quite some time. Wife, daughter always tried to get into let's watch some scary movies, and I would watch a good suspenseful one, but like Insidious or something, but I don't know. Unless it's like a cheesy 80s slasher flick, like back in the day, like the old Jason movies or something that you could laugh at, over a couple of beers or something, then yeah. Anyway, I guess that's a lot of different things, but times change, and I am curious if you want, hit up the comments below, because this is not only a podcast, it's also a live Twitch stream, and you can find it on our Mongers Podcast Network YouTube channel. Leave a comment. Tell us what you do to celebrate Halloween while we are enjoying our evil. Speaking of being evil, gentlemen, it's time to pull up good old happy Long Acres. That town, your town, my town, the town that we are enforcing the law every day. It's kind of, actually, we should use like the old Dukes of Hazzard music, like just some good old boys. Only you guys get to be like the sheriff running around. No?
Just some bad old boys.
Yeah, why not, right? Why not?
Just keeping everyone safe. Don't worry about it.
Keeping everyone safe. So, another, day passes, morning comes, happy time, village music once again plays, because I just can't get enough of this, the audacity of this music. You guys...
The urchins get some more paper.
Every day puzzling it out. Never run out of toilet paper here in Urchin Alley. This morning, you guys sup or whatever, okay? Our Damphir Oracle, Nikolai, and our local little rogue, Simri Stalish, have an errand to run. One of Archbaron's town guards. Now, we talk about how you guys are the law. Archbaron has men, and they are posted at the gates, and they have like a little squad that kind of like roams around the land, his lands. So you guys are like responsible for the town, but Archbaron like has lands. You know what I mean? And Longacre is within it. So I wouldn't say it's like a big roaming army, but he definitely has men that run around in squads over the countryside, But they've left you to the day-to-day, the punishment, the crime, the justice, the law, the curfew, all that kind of thing. laying down the letter of the law in the sleepy little town of Longacre. This morning, it is relatively quiet, and before something, because something always does happen, jumps up and bites you guys, Professor Niles Cronin also leaves you temporarily. He says he will return very soon, very quick errand, and off he goes, leaving Luca, the perfectly normal human, and Rom, the perfectly normal human, sitting at the table in the old jailhouse here, looking at each other, back and forth. Was there anything that you guys had left unfinished, wrapped up? I mean, you guys had sort of metered out the law to the cockatrice gang. Sorry, had tracked down the mystery of the cockatrice. Cockatrice culprits. Yeah, that's what we'll call them. The cockatrice culprit. And panning to our lovely little jail. Here we are. Lovely little jail. In our jail cell, you've got these two guys. You fed them, you watered them, played with them a little bit. Mom and Dad went out. Rom's gotten into some morning drinking. Is there anything you guys want to address? Anything you guys want to address or have any concerns this morning before you run off, or you guys are kind of like left with the morning patrol?
Well, I do know that when we go out on the morning patrol, I would like to look for a place that sells some used weapons.
Okay. Now, you know that these guys have had access to weapons right here in the jailhouse, right?
Oh, yes. I don't want anything of particular quality.
Okay. Just like general store kind of stuff?
Yes, I would like to look for a kind of like maybe a very small dagger that it's a little bit rusted. Definitely not the best quality, but certainly good enough quality that someone would not necessarily immediately throw it out or try, but also bad enough that they wouldn't try to sell it.
Sure. All right. So, do you want to take Rom with you and hit the general store, or you want to just go shopping on your own?
I can go with Rom. I can do this along when we do our patrol.
Well, no times like the present. So, let's just get that map there. And you head out of the jail. Now, as I said before, our jail, I believe, is number 11 on our map. Yeah, Longacre Jail, number 11 on the map. So let me just zoom in. On the bottom left corner of our little town, right? On the north side of town, because this town is lopsided, Westgate is actually to the bottom of the map, is Town Jail, little brown building, number 11. Right practically outside your door is number 7, is the Camanio Market. You check out their wares, and unfortunately they deal in fresh produce from the town's outlying farms. You find...
Do they perhaps have an old produce knife?
No. It's named for the proprietors, Huxilum and Darlene Camimino. Couple are regulars, and their 12-year-old daughter, Jemmy, helps out, that type of thing. Anyway, you start asking them, I want to buy a knife, I want to, that kind of thing. And they tell you to go to the general store, Geld's general store, actually, which is across town. So if you follow that road that 7 is stuck to, right outside the jail, and head south or to the right, and the road winds around, you pass the gate, all the way up towards 14 is the other patch, you'll see building number 5. Just zoom in here. Let's all go to the general store. Woo! Building number 5 in Longacre. Welcome to Guild's General Store. You guys head inside, and you see a halfling stocking a shelf, but doesn't sort of come over to greet you, that she's just doing her little job. You see 2, I wouldn't say elderly, but definitely middle-aged or past women with a slight resemblance. One is dealing with a customer at a till, and one is helping the halfling stock shelves and replace things. And near the till, but sort of given this place of honor in a rocking chair, you see a tough-looking old lady, and she watches the till, and over top of it watches the door. And you guys walk in, and she is the one that locks eyes with you and takes notice of you and Big Ron. Walking all around, start roaming around, or go ask someone for help, or what do you guys want to do? But there is just about everything you could think of, in this place. It's like a little trading post kind of thing.
Well, specifically, if someone locked eyes with me, I would wave. And then enter
all
in.
Right.
And yes, immediately begin looking for the knife selection.
All right. Start rummaging around. Rob. Standing imposingly in the doorway. Same thing. Halfling and one of these older women stocking shelves, a woman helping a customer to till, and a tough-looking old lady on a throne-like rocking chair up over on like a ledge, and she overlooks the cash and the front door and is, glaring at you guys. Luca waves and heads off to what looks to be, odds and ends kitchenware. What are you doing?
I'll actually end up just browsing their food selection. I don't want to give off the wrong impression that we're, staking out the store to rob it or anything. Just by, looming in the doorway. Fair. Just go walk off, see what they have. Round and round and round we go. They watch you. You know what I mean? Obviously you guys have your little armband. Actually, I'm assuming you guys are toting your armbands. Tis this.
Mm-hmm.
I never got one.
Oh yeah, no, fresh ones were supplied. I remember that comment you were saying before.
Oh yeah, I'm sure probably once I got up to the actual place, it would have given me a new one.
Once you realized we had to wear them.
A couple days have gone by. Simri has furnished you with them. Speaking of which, just as a short reminder, I've got, where are we? The Fex crest. This is the actual armband itself. Okay. And there is a sort of carved pendant of metal with a little tiny crimson gem at the top, and in a flat white sort of, what do they call it? The oil of the lay lady. There's a name for that. Escapes my mind. That flat space where you have the curvature. It looks like a piece of porcelain that's been painted, and you have some green foliage and two stags locking very large, entangled, very dark crimson antlers. The arm piece itself is red, and a little controversy here. There is a cross red on a black field. That's part of the Cheliax flag. The Cheliax flag is white, and in the top corner is a black square and has this symbol on it. And if you look carefully, it's a circle with a cross through it, and two of the edges of the one line peek out through the circle, and two others kind of do the walk like an Egyptian, one curved up, one curved down. It is remnant of, shall we say, an ancient Roman symbol that Germany used in World War II, or at least the German party. But I don't think that's what they were going for with this.
I don't know.
Sort of an imperialist. Anyway, the customer here at Guild's General Store thanks them profusely. It actually turns out to be Professor Niles. And this old biddy is doting on him. And he's like got the brown paper bag, and he's packing random, ingredients into the bag and gives them a couple coppers or whatever. It's just some minor stuff you'd find at a grocery store. But they're having an extended conversation because he's asking about when something can be brought in. Or what about this other item I asked for? Or do I have to wait a week? That kind of thing. And then he turns around and notices you guys as he, goes to leave. You guys are roaming the store. Hello, Niles.
Oh, hello, compatriots.
Didn't expect to see you here.
He's the one that left the jailhouse telling you he had a quick errand to run and would meet you back in the jailhouse. So the fact you guys popped up here, he is honestly the one that's surprised.
Forget something yourself?
No, just plans within plans.
He says, holding up like a little paring knife from the KitchenAid section of the general store.
Mm-hmm. Eyebrow rises. Oh, Luca?
Luca, unfortunately, they don't have anything nasty and rusted. They have stuff that's common quality, like certainly not masterwork and certainly not durable. I wouldn't say cheaply made, but there's certainly a bunch of things that are simply made with simple materials. Some very basic tarnished steel, that will probably rust and tarnish easily. But right now it's brand new or, only slightly used, and they'll sharpen it for you, but certainly not something dread or rusted that you seem to be going on about interested before. But
yes, it seems like I might need to take a bit more time with
well,
this,
you can always
but
ask.
That's okay.
I mean, you did notice the professor got
That's
what
fair.
he wanted and was asking.
That's fair. I'll go up. I would like something a little bit close to this kind of a knife, but perhaps something that you haven't cleaned up and gotten ready for resale yet.
Sisters Imona and Ola are in the store. Ola just cashed through Professor Niles and now turns to you curiously, Luca, and says, "I'm sorry, love. I don't quite follow. Could you say that again, please? You want something that's what?"
Oh, I'd like a knife similar to this and about the same size, but perhaps one that you haven't refurbished or cleaned up for resale.
Oh, specifically, Eoma, come here a minute. So the other sister comes over. "Can I help you, gentlemen?" Very nice and wringing their hands and, instantly noticing the armbands. And we've already been very tense with our creepy professor hanging out here and asking very strange questions about rare fruits and entrails from chickens. And, what have you done with the rest of the chicken? That kind of thing.
And sleeping patterns.
This entire time, the stern old lady rocking from her throne-like position just watches you guys grumpily, lets this all play out. Emma explains to Ola. Anyway, they're confused, but she goes back to the back room to see if they have something that they haven't unpacked or have traded and haven't cleaned up, or, but she goes off to, fill your request if possible. Rom, anything you wish to, anything catch your eye?
If they have a couple of apples, I'll pick those up, toss them in a bag, and then pay a couple copper for them. I guess
they do, but
is.
You notice the price here is more expensive than the fresh produce wagon that we passed back there at number 7. Not a lot more, but, more.
I'm already here, and we're already inconveniencing them as is, so...
Okay. Professor Niles, couple coppers, got you some odds and ends, kind of disappointed about the powder and everything they can't get you. Or it's on special order because it's like apothecary kind of stuff. Now, they do tell you that there's a merchant that has like a little sort of wagon stall in town. And if you want apothecary stuff like sleeping powder or whatever, help you sleep, then you best to see him. They only have some very light herbs and seasoning and, like cough syrup kind of stuff. They don't have anything that's really medicinal here.
Oh, it's good to know. Do you happen to know the name of the establishment? Or the fellow?
Odmer.
He's more of the entrepreneur.
Odmer Tonics. Odmer's Tonics. And it's basically a wagon full of alchemical wonders. You
Excellent.
Isn't that the place that we were going to go to at some point with
Simri seemed rather
Simri?
jaded.
Or at least that Simri was specifically
jaded
not
about
wanting
this
to go
guy,
to.
yeah. Because you guys wanted healing potions and her head filled with this creepy, handsy tonic guy, and you guys end up going to a hospice. And do you guys even know what a hospice is? Well, we joked about it, but like a hospice is sort of like they specialize in palliative care, like people that they want to ease their pain and suffering because these people are not long for this earth, whether it's a matter of a few years or a few months or even less. Hospice specializes in easing the pain and suffering of elderly and very, very sick people.
Oh, Niles has spent a few months in a tenure.
Yes.
And a few
That's where the guys
there.
went off the other day while you were getting enjoying some very special blends of tea with the witch and too many cats. Oh, by the way, like
cats.
every morning Rom gets up, cleans his armor and everything, goes to bed, wakes up, and in his cloak or like the actual fabric components of his armor covered in freaking white cat hair. Like a cat broke in the night, cuddled up with him, slept with him, left cat hair everywhere, and he wakes up just covered in freaking cat hair, like he owns a cat.
I hate cats. turn a corner out of the corner of your eye. You see like a little white thing
the
dart out of
fluffy tail in the morning, just as
Yeah.
you're gasping for what's going on, right? Anyway, something does interesting happening amongst all the chaos of the general store. The moment Rom places down the apples, the old lady speaks to Ola at the till. Well, you're gonna ask him? Yes, mother, of course. My mother's interested if you've actually had any military service, sir.
Not directly, but I have done some mercenary work with military units.
The lady takes over the conversation, starts barking from her chair. Which unit?
The local units from Varissia, actually. Nothing here. I just started work here in Cheliax.
Anyway, she doesn't seem very happy with the answer. Doesn't say anything else, goes back to her rocking and just kind of turns her head and just grumbles to herself and doesn't raise her head to look at you again for the rest of the time you're here. Politely enough not to say anything bad about it, but certainly not happy with your answer. Anyway, Ola's like, yes then, right, so... And she gives you the price for the apples, and we wait for Imola to come back out of the back. She does, and she does bring you something that's been traded that they didn't think was worth selling. And it is a tarnished blade. Not rusted, but definitely tarnished. You know how like silver gets turns color, right? Several metals will do this, even stainless steel in your, spots on my dishwasher. Thank you. Yes.
Well, they oxidize.
Now, oxidation actually is the step of rusting. But will this suit, sir? They are aiming to please the armband gang.
Oh, yes, I do think it will, but hold on a moment. So I give, first of all, how much would you like for this? Would a copper be sufficient?
For like the proverbial, 2, please. A dagger,
Sure.
a dagger or a
Moment.
proper combat
Pass
knife
those.
is 2 gold. So, but who can afford 2 silver for a single blade? So if we're talking cutlery for a table of 4, whatever, it's got to be like in the copper range, but like 10 or 20, right? So if you want a single knife, probably a couple, 2 bits, right? I'll take 2 bits for it, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll pass that over.
2 bits for the apple, 2 bits
Sure.
for the thing.
There you go. And one moment. I'm going to then cast Prestidigitation on it to clean it up, and an arcane mark on it to give it kind of that same, the same symbol that's the symbol effects.
They all recoil
blade.
when you start gesturing and murmuring magic over the knife, but no one does anything. They definitely note what you're doing. Can I have a perception from you boys? Please.
Certainly.
First roll of the evening.
Perception roll.
A natural 20 for 24.
Nice.
We'll go with Rom. But what do you got there, Ryan?
I'm
No, it's
looking
fine.
for the button. Sorry, I thought it was on the main page.
I'm quite busy.
Oh, okay.
Natural 1 for 2.
There we go. Perception roll.
Okay.
Looks like a 17.
17 is good enough. So 17, you notice that the halfling that's stocking shelves has sort of climbed up like a little step ladder and is peeking over, the grocery stores that are like in a convenience store. The shelves are only like 5.5, like you can look over them so that people can see you, the heads moving around where you are in the aisles, right? Okay, so she's climbed up like a little step on a wing display and she's peering over and she's loading the display and just watching you guys. Professor Niles, you notice this. Rom, you notice not only is she watching, that she's squinting, she's glaring at you and putting down the cans, like deliberately kind of thing, right? Yes, a little bit more
Angrily.
detail in the methodology for our natural 20. Just you getting the dagger look there, Rom. Niles.
As she angrily faces the products.
Exactly.
Well, I'll turn fully towards her. Could I help you with something?
Her eyes go wide. She just finishes and then just climbs down, like just recedes behind the, disappears slowly. Yeah.
Confrontation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
For what it's worth, actually, as well with Rom when he was with that kind of a perception check, and I'm specifically casting a spell at the moment. You would also probably notice my the front of my hair kind of flips up, kind of an angle like this, and my eyes kind of flash The pupils look quite
Okay.
large for a second as
Cool.
my eyes flash.
Well, then, yes, definitely. Like, not just the fact that you're doing the murmur, and there might be like that distortion of light or whatever. Particularly Ola, that's closest to you, sees your eyes change and everything, and just a little gasp. Oh, oi. Like, really taken aback at what the hell's going on here.
Anyways, with the newly cleaned and now sigilled knife, I would like to show it to them and say, if you happen to see this knife, please do not accept it for resale.
Okay. I
will know. Thank you.
Yes. Is there anything else we can do for you, dears, today? You've all kind of two coppers. Professor Niles has dropped, you don't know how much on, some odds and ends before he got there. We all have what we need.
I'll actually turn back to the one working the register. The halfling. We end up doing something to offend them. Do they have an issue with us?
Caswella? Did you offend Caswella? Anyway, they look over and they don't see her anywhere. No. She's hardworking. Sir. Good employee, she says, pressing the, employee, not owned, angle of, no, I'm certainly not, I'm sure, certainly don't want an incident.
Oh, well, no, I just wanted to make sure we didn't need to apologize.
That's very kind of you. Miss Rounder, will you come here, please? Right. So anyway, out comes this halfling, and you see a 3-foot tall female halfling, 40 years old. So like in halfling years, it's kind of like your 32 kind of person, I'd say, adult, not a kid.
Yeah.
At least, somewhere from young adult to actually, I better double check that. I'm pretty sure 40 years in halfling is, certainly not old, but anyway, she comes around. These gentlemen are worried that, they may have, offended and would like to offer their apologies, says Ola to the large man in armor.
I will nod, kneel down. My deepest apologies if we've offended you.
You're doing it now, she says as you bend down to get to her height. And she pulls herself to her full height and puts her hands on her hips. Talk to her like she's a person. You're that tall. I'm this tall. That's the way the world works. Her eyes flare up as you kneel down to get to her level like she's a kid. You're doing it now, she says, and she stalks off.
Well, my head was bent down like, a proper night kneel of
I thought
my apologies. Not
sorry,
trying to look her dead in the eye.
Bent over and tilted your head up so you're at her level, or took a knee.
I mean, took a knee,
okay.
Yes, but head down, my deepest apologies.
No, I will tell you this.
You.
Can I have a sense motive, guys?
Sure.
Maybe she's just having a bad day, and
11.
Halfling
Natural
employees
20.
are difficult, Luca. Professor, no, there is something very specific. This woman has a grump on, and it is directed at us. You're pretty certain that it's not I'm having a bad day, or it's a halfling human thing, or whatever. We came in, and she's been watching us since you noticed her a moment ago with Luca, and she just something prejudice going on here. Anyway, but she leaves the room, so mission success. Rob drove her off.
I've got my
right? Let's go.
Fair enough. I got an apple.
It's amazing how, remember I said he was putting things in the bag, right? He's actually laying out bread, mayo, hand, knife, flashing, tomato, less. He cheese. He builds the sandwich in the bag and then
mostly cheese. It's an oddly stacked
pulls
cheese
it out to
sandwich.
show you, puts it back in the bag.
With much dairy for me.
And mayo.
So much mayo.
It's good. It's good for your constitution.
So, gentlemen, back out onto the street, back to the jail with lunch, and
as we leave out onto the street, Deimos, please watch that building, and when that halfling leaves, find out where she lives.
All right, boss. Everyone's British today. Sorry.
Yay, British Day! What is it is the spook season, and everyone knows Brits can be
Thank you.
scary.
I'll take that as a compliment, considering my mom's British, or was. So we were talking about holiday tradition, Ryan. So quick segue. While someone's talking to his crow, as man does. Do you have a yearly tradition that you, yourself, your family, friends? We're talking about me trying to always play Ravenloft. Aiden's got a cool video game. Movies. You got something you try and do every year?
Eat pumpkin, fresh toasted pumpkin
Oh, really?
seeds. Yeah. Well, because you carve the pumpkin and then you eat pumpkin seeds, and then after you carve the pumpkin, before it deflates and becomes disgusting, you then carve out its insides and then cook it and then consume that.
And this
in
is
pumpkin
whatever entertainment might befall the front of you. It's entertaining because you get your treat.
Yeah, and I always got to turn on the spook, watch the spook movies. All the movies that I don't watch throughout the year because I'm like, yep, that ruins sleep in dark corners for me for, a month or so. I remember when I was a young child and Blair Witch first came out, and this was brand new at the time, and we, this motion capture TV thing was new fandangle to us. But then they had like the found footage thing before found footage thing was an actual thing, and they had a very spooky setting going through all the forest. And when you lived in the forest and you watched that movie, it really sucked doubly so, because you're like, man, crap, I'm at the crash site.
Yeah, like, I don't think anybody went camping with their buddies and
camping took a dive that summer. Don't know why.
Yeah, one of the first scary movies I saw was my brother watching Alien versus Predator, and the face hugger scene.
Oh,
I already had terrible arachnophobia before that.
It was cemented that.
Oh yeah. Like I saw it through a window when I was walking by. I was like, all right, well, I'm not sleeping for a week. I was like 7 years old at the time, something like that.
Scarred. This is what this is about.
Nice. Sorry. So getting back to point, you guys return to the jail. We have our little crow spy, staking out the building, peeking over the sides, watching the entrances for movement of the halfling eventually. And you guys head back, little light brunchy breakfast, and then it's time to go back on patrol. And as I said before, Simri and Nikolai went out on an errand or to investigate something that had been brought to their attention by one of the Archbaron guards who patrol the countryside and watch the gates.
So do either two of you, this is while we're still sitting at lunch, do either two of you remember the name of the halfling that was on that certificate of slavery that Nikolai has claimed as his own?
I can't say I've been privy to read it directly, no.
I didn't know we had one.
I was wondering if perhaps they might be a relative to the lady, in which case it might be useful to follow her and find out where she's going. Hence Deimos is gone.
Well, let's see if he left the papers around. I'll just start, rummaging through all the desks and folders and whatnot, see if I can find that certificate.
Okay. Might you be hinting towards a certain network for halfling slavery that operates in Cheliax there, Luca? Do you know of it in character, or shall we start the old history and local rolls?
I think my character might be aware of it.
If you can pull the RP,
just to make certain.
Go for it.
Yeah, which traits did you choose?
Oh, this is relevant because I was actually a slave myself, but I don't, like me, the player, has not thought ahead to go look this up.
Luca drops the name, or is hinting at what is known as the Bellflower Network, a group of halflings that help halfling slaves escape Cheliax, because halfling slaves are very popular in this country. Sort of a fantasy underground railroad, if you would.
Knowledge local of 15.
Definitely. And with 15, it's pretty much, you can surmise as far as like what towns are hot for it or whatever, who knows? You need more. But
so I do wonder if perhaps she was antagonistic towards us because we found that notice of ownership in here, if I'm not mistaken, which would imply that perhaps she's aware that the sheriff's office has that.
Yeah, like Nico was pretty interested maybe he's been asking around. Excuse me, do you know a halfling named Arden? Do you know a halfling named Arden? Has anyone seen my Arden holding like the little writ? Like, if he's that brash, then yeah, she might, anyone might take offense or whatever. But unless you guys have a spy, or someone was loose-lipped, one of your own was loose-lipped in the store, it's not too far off to think that since you guys are first time here, but Simri knows the town, takes Nico to the store, and they're just chatting away about, he sees a halfling. Oh, that reminds me about my halfling, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah. And you guys all have ambience. Like, it's not hard to connect those dots. But at this point, without more proof, you're staking her out. It's just theory, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, lovely lunch, and back on patrol. Da-da-da-da-da. Back out into the wild we go.
It's so sweet.
Well, you were after sleeping powder, Professor Niles. Do you want to take the gang by way of tracking down Odmer and his tonics?
Well, yes, I thought this would be a good destination if the others wish to follow with, which would make sense.
In the main town square, which is like number 4 is the church, and that open patch with the well and everything. Okay. Actually, I believe I do have the map.
Longacre, right?
Oh, not the Longacre map, but the actual this map here. It's got all the different segues on it. Center left, that's your town square. Remember where the sermon was, and Joe's guy got all religious? What? Right. So the walled off compound with the stones is the Church of Imode. And there's the well and the post where you guys put up a notice for the thing. So you find him here in the town square, where there are people bustling and meeting and having chats and trading goods and that type of thing, and there's church going on. They see you guys approach, and anyone that's like more than 2 or 3 people talking, stop. Sometimes the third person leaves, because you guys have decreed, more than 5 people here after dark, blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't want to give you guys a cause. Everyone's heard how you guys arrested and humiliated Kelgan. And people are probably starting to talk soon enough about how you guys in the middle of the night arrested 2 ranch hands on trumped up charges of a magical creature attack onto them at docks where no one saw nothing, and that type of thing. Or maybe even the dock hands that work for Zogs have already started spreading this around, because it has been a day or so already, Anyway, obviously a subject of interest and chatter, but not within your earshot. People move out of your way. Isn't that nice? Respect at last. Luca, people stare at you guys, not giving you like the evil eye, but watch you cross the square and that type of thing. Anyway, not hard to spot Mr. Odmer, because there is that sort of gypsy cart looking, the big wheels and the pony, and he lives in it. It's like his Winnebago, right? Anyway, he's got the animal, at the well having a drink. He's got a nice little spot out of the way, so he's not impeding traffic. And he's got the steps down and a bunch of things like shelves and stuff out, and he's, peddling this and that. Anyway, as you guys approach, one Elish Odmer of Odmer's Tonics not only stops what he's doing, he meets you halfway to his cart. Finally, I've been looking for you. Over here, my friends.
Yes.
Well, my manners, permit me to introduce myself. I am one. And he pulls off a hat, and he's got the little monk hairdo, like with the bald spot. So, suddenly looking like a religious person. Yeah. Pulls off his... Yeah, exactly, right?
The tux.
Puts it back off. I am one Mr. Elish Odmer of Odmer's Tonics. Welcome, gentlemen. Step right up. What can I do for you, fine gentlemen, today? Anyway, he's speaking really loudly right in your face. Can I have sense motive, please?
Certainly.
15.
7. Well, 8 total, actually.
Niles, he's welcoming you. Luca, he
seems like he's trying to show that he's talking to us.
It is, and with an 8, yes. Rom, he's actually making eyes at you like he's saying this for show. I have a legitimate reason to talk to these people, blah, blah, blah. But obviously he has something very private to discuss. You know, as soon as he drops his tone, you're expecting the come here or come over to my wagon kind of thing any moment now. Anyway, he marches you over to the wagon and says, what can I do for you fine gentlemen today on this fine morning? You know, that kind of thing. And you guys start talking about sleeping powder and this and this and this. And he
Yes, I was wondering what you would have for in potency and variety, if you would have anything.
Before we get to that, there's another matter, since you are the law and decree of Archbaron in these parts. He says,
yes.
My wagon and over 800 pieces of gold worth of my personal alchemy wonders have been stolen, sir. And it's about time the Archbaron sent someone to investigate my complaint. So apparently he's been talking about this for 2 days, and you guys have been elsewhere, busy or whatever. And, you know, finally thinks you're here to help him. And anyway.
Oh, well, this is definitely
I demand
serious offense.
Justice. Find these thieves. And I insist that you know, a.k.a. the Archbaron Fex, you know, reimburse me for my losses immediately. How am I to survive the winter? You know, without such, you know, like so much money. 800 gold, that's a lot money.
That is not something that the Archbaron would do. That's not how the law works.
I've been robbed, sir. Anyway, he comes around, he shows you a door, he shows you like a lock that's been tampered with. He conveniently has a list. And it looks like a legit list of his stocks and wares that's you know, like months old or whatever, and he's circled things that are missing, and he'll even show you receipts of everything I've sold. Like, I haven't sold this stuff, and now playing you guys like suckers. Like, he seems to have documentation, and he's very upset that, you know.
Well, very well. We'll just have to interrogate you and get some information.
I've freely given you this information. What do you want to know? You know, what are you gonna do about it?
That's what interrogation is. Just gathering information. About the culprits.
I was asleep.
Where?
He basically talks about, like, there's one of the inns or whatever that, you know, like when things are good or whatever. Right. You know, anyway, hot meal, warm bed, doesn't stay up past curfew. You know, so he travels and lives in this thing when he's going town to town, like Winnebago. But when he's in town, he will use his profits to, you know, low rent, good solid meal, keep the pony, right? That kind of thing. Then early morning, like a marketeer does, he'll get up, drag everything into town, set up, you know, and rinse and repeat. So he tells you where he stays. Check with the tavern owner.
Yep.
Okay.
I write down everything.
Okay.
I know what his itinerary was, what he did, where he went, where he parked.
Where he parked. Sorry. That's good. Yeah, sorry. Just where he parked. What?
Of course.
Yeah,
pertinent information.
Of course. Okay. So what about you two? You just letting Professor Niles handle this, or anyone want to investigate the crime scene?
I mean, I'll take a look around while they're talking.
Okay.
I will assist as well.
I'll ask, did it happen to you or somewhere else?
Well, he's taken this and parks it, you know, near the tavern at night and then rolls it back out, or he'll just leave it where it is and lock it up tight. You know, it is a very heavy, secure gypsy kind of wagon, you know, heavy doors, whatever, big padlock kind of thing. You know, he probably would even go so far as to like remove a wheel or you know, so someone doesn't, oh wow, look at all that money, right? Hook up a horse, gone, right? Anyway, he shows you his security measures that he has invested money in, serious money, wheels that come off and or, you know, no easy way to like get this thing out of here without making a crap ton of noise and trouble.
And you've got this crystal ball on top for scrying.
Is there anyone that would know of your methods for keeping it safe?
I suppose any other merchant or anyone like that cares to be up at 4 a.m, like a fine tax-paying citizen like myself, sir. You know, with his padlock. Anyway, he jangles his keys, and he's got the big iron key for the big iron padlock that secures the big doors or whatever, right? Anyway.
So you're saying that the only person you can immediately think of that would know of your security measures is the same person requesting that the Archduke reimburse him for a suddenly missing cart.
My cart's inventory in the
inventory.
Cart. Are you implying that I am trying to hoodwork hoodwink his grace, sir?
Actually, I think
As soon as
hoodwork is the right word.
As soon as you are asking for a reimbursement, as opposed to simply getting back your property and finding out who did it, it became a possibility that you're trying to defraud the state. Yes.
Of course, I would rather have my goods back and sell them, but I'm assuming, with the competence that I'm witnessing so far, sir, that might take quite a lot of time. Time that I do not have, and time is money, and I'm sure the Archbaron, anyway, he's basically plays the one or the other, sure, but I'm out this now, he'd like the money now, and he acts very offended that you'd imply otherwise. Can I have perception, Rom, while you're just kind of like wandering around this thing, right? You guys check the lock.
Done.
It looks like it's been someone sort of taken a hatchet to, like tried to bypass it or go through a window. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's places where someone's like tried to pry their way in, give up, then pry over here and give up, and then maybe pop the lock, or you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, someone's spent good 20 minutes scraping up his thing, trying to find a way in. And he claims that this happened. And then, anyway, so besides the break-in attempts that are pretty obvious and like fresh scratches that can't be more than a day or so old, like he claims, you don't see much in the way of tampering with the wagon itself besides the obvious break-in looking at a once-over. Luca is spinning the idea that he himself might be a fraudulent, and Professor Niles is happily taking notes about everything the man says and is poring over those receipts he was waving around. What do you guys want to do now?
Well, I suppose at this point we can go take 20 to give a more thorough inspection of the...
Okay. Doesn't seem very keen that you're, start licking his wagon and is not taking his word, right? So he goes back to the loud and proud, making large comments for everyone to hear. I'm so happy the Archbaron has sent you, to investigate my legitimate claim, gentlemen. I've told you everything you want to know. I have the proper documentation. And he's like waving at the crowd, like, what are you on about? type of thing. And they have searched my van, my belongings or whatever. But will they act? I implore you, Don't you think, if you there, put that wagon, if your home was broken into, wouldn't you want these men to do something about, type of thing? If your cattle was stolen,
Well, excuse me. Could you please calm down, though? You're raising a bit of a ruckus.
He does lower his voice, but then he gets into the harsh whisper with you. Should I be calm in a time like this? 800 gold pieces is more likely something than so you've seen in a year.
You have,
sir. Okay.
I understand, sir, but you have to understand. We are working on this. You have reported this just now. We are working on it for the past few minutes now.
Taking your 20? Sorry, go ahead.
We can't have you rousing the public up just because you're dissatisfied with your current state of affairs. That's just, we can't do that.
Everyone's watching, but it's not like he's drawing a crowd. They don't come over and help him. You know what I mean? They're just going about their business. They keep their distance. They don't want to get involved. But people are watching what we're doing. But like I'm saying, like you lean in, you say this to them. It's not like the people can hear what you're saying, right? Just so you know, like the people are watching, but they're like this at the 60 to 100 foot mark, and they're taking note of what you guys do, like an end result. But no one's coming over to interfere. No one is siding with you or him at this time. Your 2 minutes. Mr. Luca, Rom, what bonuses would you inquire when you have a 2-minute crawl since Professor Niles has spoken with the man for several minutes and is trying to shut him up and calm him down?
That gets me a 21.
Okay.
Gets me a 24.
The two of you, start licking the wagon, go over odds and ends, go in type of thing. One comes in the front, one comes in the back. You guys walk around and you're looking at stuff, and one turns towards like the little desk chair, one turns towards the other. Anyway, as you guys roam and go over this thing inch by inch, at the last moment in the middle, you take a step towards each other, and simultaneously there's that creak in the floor. Both look down together.
I didn't think we were that heavy.
Okay.
Conjures a crowbar. Shall we?
Popping a 16 DC perception check, finding a hidden compartment holding what looks to be, could call Niles in here, the complete inventory of the missing goods. Perhaps Luca was right, and here is the evidence. I would like to award Mr. Tamlin a villain point, half for coming up with the theory, and also the full point because he was, besides Rom, he was also one of the ones that, made the perception to find it. So another villain point. I think Jay's got 2 now.
Yeah, he stole 2 from
that's
me.
True.
Come on.
Yeah, you always seem to be involved.
Professor Niles?
Okay.
1 second.
So you guys go
yes,
inside
Luca.
and show him?
From what?
I will
no,
actually.
I'm just
step
going to yell.
outside.
Okay.
Oh, that works. If you could please go bring in our compatriot here.
Oh, sorry.
No.
The when you guys searched the wagon, right? You found supplementary of the break-in. Kind of questionable. Sorry, it was a 20 to find the hidden compartment. So you guys both nailed it, but just saying, not so easily found. Okay, so bring him in, string him up, publicly humiliate. So many choices, so little time.
Oh, this is not good at all. Not good at
It
all.
does not look good
Who's up
for
on
him, does
local
it?
law? We don't have Simri to prattle in her ear, so can I have a local? You have the voice of Rislargo
Certainly.
drift down now. What would Simri, because she'd be the one going, well, this is, the local laws.
That is a 15.
17 untrained.
Okay.
10
Luca.
untrained.
Staying with you since, you're sort of the guy that's become point on this. You have grounds legally to arrest him or run him right out of town. Or you can, you can see what the crowd wants, right?
Oh, it might be within our best interest at the moment to discuss.
I was
With
going
that
to say,
be a
of course, you
proprietor.
guys are in need of alchemical stuff. I mean, there's always blackmail, right?
Mhm.
There
And I
is
do
also
believe
civil
that-
forfeiture.
There's confiscation, which I believe is definitely in grounds now.
Well, there is that, but I mean, confiscation is such a instantaneous benefit, but not much of a benefit in the long run. There's also the matter of, apparently, for whatever reason, Simri doesn't particularly like this place, so I wouldn't mind getting her opinion.
Yeah,
on
like
to
the
do
Baron told you he
with-
doesn't want you interfering with commerce. Like, you guys cheated. We're taking all your cattle. That's how, even though it's like on a smaller scale, much more valuable items, that's how the town would view this. Oh, you pissed us off. We're taking all your stuff. Like, the town would react very, very negatively. Now, that doesn't mean you guys can't lean on him for a huge discount if you want to keep him around, or arrest him, or run him out, or wait for Simri or whatever. But you've obviously caught him, being a shyster.
And again, while this discussion is happening, we're doing it just within the earshot so we can hear.
Oh yeah,
us
no,
discuss this.
I'm assuming he's just sitting at the door. You guys come, like, he knows where the compartment is. You call him inside, and we're all talking about this in front of the open panel, and I would even assume that there's like whoever's not immediately speaking is picking up vials and looking at your list, and yep, that's okay, it's, as we thought.
Niles's
Right?
going through it.
But Rom will keep him cornered in, just standing behind him.
The
arms
guy
crossed.
himself is outside the wagon, but he's not. He doesn't run away or anything. He's standing there, wringing his hands, looking around nervously. You guys have his entire life.
Niles is
Like what's it about?
Oh no,
When
I thought we sent Rom went out there to go get.
Oh
him,
no, sorry.
bring him in.
I thought you yelled for Niles, and
Yes.
he was talking to Niles. Yeah, and he followed
Yeah,
Niles.
Niles
He's like
came.
right there. Can't fit everybody in this wagon, so what I've got is in the front of the wagon, right, climbing over the chair or whatever to drive this thing in front of the gypsy wagon with his butt to the front seat is Rom, right? Then there's the compartment. Then there's you and your crowbar, and the two of you going, "Yay, we win!" Right? Then behind Luca, towards the back door, you've called in Niles, and Buddy is like right there. Maybe not in the wagon, but he's certainly like looking in or on the step. He hasn't run, and he looks very, "Oh, what are those doing there?" Kind of thing. Like you can see him doing the math, to try and talk his way out of it, but he's waiting to see what you guys see and do. But you can tell he's starts sweating, wringing his hands, looks around nervously, see if anyone,
I imagine how the exchange would have happened, like in real time, would have been Rom stepping out, Niles stepping in,
Sure.
and Niles then talking with Luca, being like, oh, this is
Sure.
This is definitely not good. And at that same time, if he's right there, Rom is just standing there and just puts one hand on his shoulder. And like that's like it's pretty much like handcuffs.
Rom is adjacent to the character. You're caught, right? What are you gonna do?
My dear is sorry, what was your name again?
His name is Elish Odmer.
My dear Odmer, you wouldn't happen to be interested in coming down to the sheriff office to leave a more description of the person you believe stole from you?
He says, gentlemen, he says, there's no need for that. He says, if I may, anyway, he wants to step into the wagon and obviously like shut the door and have a quiet conversation with you guys, if Rom will allow it, or at least have Rom guard the door so that no one comes by and listens. Much more profitable proposition anyway. So he comes inside, gentlemen, anyway, sob story, hard times, a test, type of thing, the Archbaron, those who are quick of wit, and that he spins this whole fabrication of, and by such me testing the new law and everything. And such, I was totally gonna, like, if you guys produced the 800 gold, I would have shown you the compartment, and that type of thing.
But you see, you also made a very big show of calling into question our ability to solve crimes. And
of course, I'm trying to help win you over the people, sir.
So as such, it wouldn't be proper for us to simply announce to the crowd that you were attempting to defraud the state. It might be much more profitable for all of us to make a show of taking you down to the sheriff office, taking the crime very seriously, attempting to find the true culprit, wink, wink, and making certain that all commerce and deals can work properly. Especially because we would be very interested in being able to make use of your wares for the right price.
There you have it. He says, well, first, gentlemen, let me save you some time. These plebes will not understand the intricacy and brilliance of your plan of marching me down to the office. They avoid the jailhouse at all costs these days, fear being locked up. No, I think we could skip that step. Shall we say I could easily... Now, I may not have everything you gentlemen require on hand, but thanks to, the trade routes like Westgate not really being open is kind of bad for business, but I could still, through certain channels, get my hands on just about anything you gentlemen require, and I am willing, if you overlook this, silly, overzealous test of mine towards your gentleman's authority, offer you 5% off all of my wares in the future for life.
I do think I'll walk to the courthouse at the bare minimum.
10%.
Fill the report.
More than fair.
It would go. I think having him leave, very happy, would do very much good for the relations.
Well, but I will sleep in the wagon. I won't go to Madam So-and-so's anymore. 12%. You're literally taking food in my mouth because now I'm going to have to sleep in the wagon 24/7 to make up the difference. 12%, gentlemen, please. Let's be fair. That is your long-term intention here, to show the people you're fair.
All right. In that case, we'll take the 12%. And, still doesn't quite work, does it?
No. The damage that it has been
you guys are so mean. You say yes to 12, he leans in, the hands start ringing, and you're like, no.
How could... Had you not made the scene in the public like I warned you about, and sown the discourse that was done, I was mostly concerned. This is a civilization. We don't go around causing a ruckus like that.
Especially when it's ruckus directed against the city's law enforcement.
15%? Huh? Gentlemen?
I definitely walk. This could be a very complicated report to fill out. It might require all night. Gentlemen?
Anyway, may I have intimidation, please?
I
offers.
Could attempt one. It's not any of my forte, but I will attempt.
You want to bring in the fairly
the tight
the looming.
There's
We should bring ramen.
Come on, Merrick. You've done your share of looming in Star Wars. I'm surprised you're not hitting up Aiden like, please loom. Hello.
Sure, we will assist
In
in
the
the looming.
All right, so
Glower.
That's
10's
11
so that's
for
a plus 2, yeah.
help another.
Oh, that is a 19 for
Okay.
a 26. Plus,
Can we get the 30?
From the assist is 28.
Looking for it.
So,
There it is.
So
no,
for
this
Ram
is
to
gonna
be
be
lead
interesting.
on
Watch.
this, because you've been outside, right? Professor Cronin is like, no, too much paperwork, 5, but you're kind of losing him, and he's hovering around like 12 or whatever, or, uncertain. Ram, you kind of have to go at this a different way. You know what I mean? Like, you can loom, but that's kind of you aiding their role, right? If you want to go lead on this, you need to take a different, like a new price, a new percentage, and some threat to back it up just to shut them up, Let's get to the end. You guys remember Transylvania? And they're going on and on and on. The invisible guy goes, let's speed this up, and he just lights the fire, and the Frankenstein guy goes nuts. Like completely just, I'm not waiting for the, the long-fangled.
I'll pull open the door and be like, I don't want to stand out here any longer. How about instead of discussing this here, where I have to stand out in the sun, we take you back to the station and discuss this privately.
He's trying
Fair
to
enough.
Avoid that. 15, 20%, gentlemen, he says, inching away from Rom. Just 20%. I will be taking a huge loss, but I believe that having a long-term relationship with you fine gentlemen in this fine little town, will benefit me, and I've learned so much today. 20%, sir?
20% and quite the happy reception whenever you happen to see us. Much like your
Done and
disappointment
done.
today.
Is there anything you wish to he's the businessman. So let's talk about you buying something, right? Is there anything you wish to purchase immediately with your new discount, sir? Fine, sirs. I have. It'd be funny if he said I have sleeping potion. You look tired, and Niall's like, no, never use it.
It's like a Spanish fly. It doesn't exist.
Anyway, he offers you guys shopping on the spot, 20% discount. So that would be like a 50 gold piece Cure Light Wounds potion you could get for 40 gold, like right now. I don't know if you guys have that kind of money, but I do know that healing seems to be our biggest party problem.
Well,
I'm sure there's all kinds of things you guys can do and are interested in the world of apothecary that we can get into. But just so the audience or something that to tempt you guys right now, the price of a 50 gold piece vial of Cure Light Wounds, 1d8 plus 1 healing, just dropped to 40 gold because of 20% savings, if I'm not mistaken. That's
Buy now!
If we have enough saved up, we'd always get a wand instead.
Well, he has tonic,
Better
so you're looking at
investment.
liquids with this guy.
Nah.
You haven't gone to visit. Luca was on about the master knows the wizard, the old recluse wizard in town. We haven't played that angle yet. So if you want to save your money, but hey, intimidating the guy, a little role play. Well done, everyone, and some final rolls to back it up to get yourself 20% discount. Okay.
Nice.
Anyway, he does offer you something for free if you will overlook, the fraudulent claim. So no need to report this to the Baron. Not only do you get your 20%, gentlemen, and I will happily welcome you with glad hands every time I see you in the square near my shop. He says, so that this does not get reported further up the food chain, so that I do not have to go to jail publicly for any kind of paperwork, and so that the Archbaron need never learn of this, gentlemen. A singular item on the house immediately, I believe, is the least I can do, sir. It's offering you a free item from his shop to buy your silence and the paper trail, and like this never happened. Baron doesn't know about it. Roslargo, Simmery just stays between the four of us.
So it seems though, I guess I've roughly indexed his potions by contrast to his inventory list.
Considering the guy asked for
has.
800 gold. Remember how the town can hold 1,000 gold pieces in 5 items? So I'm sure that he has probably any potion up to 100 easy. Maybe 1 or 2 that are like in the 350 range. You know, I don't want to be. I don't want to put the entire town budget in this cart. That would be a bad idea. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, so what'd you have in mind?
All right. Ooh. What I have?
If he's got a decent cure potion, worst case, we could just sell it back for easier ones.
He wants to give
one
each of us a
item,
potion?
a singular item, so that
one item.
Give you guys
a potion of invisibility.
you have a very shrewd eye, sir. He reaches off of a shelf and grabs nothing and holds it up to you. You mean like this? Okay, it's empty. I'm just kidding. Sir. It's testing your sense of humor, sir. No, I have this right here. You know. Anyway,
he gets one ha.
Yeah. Anyway, as long as the three of you are all nodding, he will fill Niall's order and hand over. I believe they're 150 worth.
I'm not even sure.
As long as it doesn't break the 300. But if it does, or if it is, I need to know because, like I said, that'll seriously.
I think potion of invisibility would be a little bit more expensive.
Yep.
I can look up the exact number now.
What
lowest you can cast? So if it's
invisibility?
second level spell, it's a third level caster. Yeah, second level spell, third level caster.
No. Yeah, potion of invisibility is $300.
But I'm just saying, like, because it's that much, he probably doesn't have two. And like I said, you do not want to find us more, because then it'll shift the economy in the town, because we're going off of the Longacre chart of having total 5,000. No one has more than 1,000 item. You know what I mean? Especially if you guys want to talk about wands in the long term. So,
yeah.
But that's today. You know, like as time goes by, it's not like you never get that 300 item back in the flow of the economy of the town. You know what I mean? Within a week, a month, a year, depending on what the item is, it's replaced, and the town holds that economy value. So, he, if as long as everyone's cool with this, or doesn't stop him, then he forks over Niles a potion of visibility that he claims will work, using good health, and
I assess it with craft alchemy.
He has your word, gentlemen, and the word of the Baron, swearing on your little banners kind of thing. Anyway, he wants, now it's not like he's going to make your arm hurt from your hand hurt from the glyph of hellfire for yes, we swear upon the Baron's name, and then not holding it and you melt. No, but taking the role play serious enough, you guys swear in the name of, the good of the state, that the Archbaron need not learn of this. It's beneath him. It stays with you, right? And if you guys solemnly swear.
Yeah.
The Archbaron asked us to maintain peace.
Okay. Enjoy your 20%. Anyway, he asks for your names.
Professor Niles Cronin.
Rom.
Quickly, I do wonder, why do you want our names?
This is why I wouldn't want to bother you, gentlemen, if you sent a runner, right? Go get me something from Elish. Give him this note. You know what I mean? Your name will be valid to him for 20%. You don't have to show up here every day going, "Hi, it's me." Can I have my,
Well, in which case, don't forget, dear Simri.
What's she have to do with this? Well, this is between us, the three.
Oh,
well, let me put it this way: Simri would drop your name, he'd still give it to her. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, it takes the names to, so let Nico and Simri get in on the deal, right? Nico and Simri would be like, "Hey, we're with Professor Niles." He thanks you for the nudge, wink, invisibility potion. Like, you know what I mean? Like just dropping the name. Okay, right. Okay, I get it. You're with them. I see the armband, right?
Yeah.
If randos show up, hey, 20% off, or just a whole bunch of people with armbands, and he goes, "Oh yeah, as we agreed, 20% off," and that guy isn't in our secret deal, he could report you and me to the Baron, and we're all screwed. So, right? Anyway, sense motive, I should have asked for. He wants your names, so he knows, Okay.
15.
Yeah, no, that seems to be legit. It's a business thing.
7.
That was also a 2.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he.
Hence my question.
Yeah, he seems to a little sus that he suddenly is interested in you, Luca, because you have had a lifetime of people treating you like an object, not a person with a name. And
the name is Luca Tavel.
Mr. Tavel, Mr. Rom, Mr. Professor Cronin. Well, you have this long name, but we so quickly shortened it to Rom. What is, for the audience sake, though, what is your name?
In Rom.
There we go. Aiden spoke the true name of his character, unlike every other campaign we play. Thank you. Got it out of you finally.
I
doubt that's your real name, sir.
and now
You're
we
right,
can
it's
all steal
football
the
with
power.
3 A's. Football.
Never go
full fall.
Mr. Tavel. Mr. Tavel. Mr.
And we'll see you all next time. Say goodnight, Mr. Tavel.
Good night.
Is that like Tavel with like 2 A's?
Oh no, just the one.
Good to know.